This book examines why soccer has become the most popular team sport for women and girls, not just in North America, but globally as well. This process has taken only a few decades, which is shocking since some countries like Brazil and Germany even banned the sport in the 1960s and 1970s. Fédération Internationale de Football Association, FIFA, the sport's governing body, determined through its Big Count global survey of participants that 26 million women played the sport in 2006. This is 10% of the estimated 265 million total players. 4 million women and girls registered with a FIFA member for an organized team, an increase of 54% since the previous survey in 2000. Millions around the world watch the Women's World Cup every 4 years. Nowhere do so many girls and women play the game as in the United States, whose 1.6 million registered players are more than the sum total of the 14 nations who rank behind it. Women's soccer has brought new energy, ideas, opportunities, and fans to the sport. In the United States, it is the biggest women's college sport. In Canada, fully a third of all players are female, the highest percentage of any country or territory in the world, contributing to soccer eclipsing hockey as the most popular game among Canadian youth. How did women's soccer grow so quickly? What obstacles did it overcome? What problems does it still face? And what does the future hold? Part 1 examines the history of the sport in the United States. The United States was a late adopter of soccer, a solid decade behind the major Western European markets. However, the combination of federal legislation aimed at equal spending in colleges by gender, Title IX, along with the discovery by parents that soccer was an inexpensive, safe, healthy, and socially beneficial activity for children of both sexes, led to an explosion in the sport's numbers. Women's soccer electrified the country in the United States during the 1999 Women's World Cup, bringing unheard-of publicity and attention. The result was unfathomable even months before. A national poll conducted in 2007 found that 48% of Americans knew who 3-time FIFA World Player of the Year Mia Hamm was, but only 9% could identify Landon Donovan, the top American-born male player, and Hamm had been retired for 3 years. The two attempts to professionalize the sport in the United States via the Women's United Soccer Association, WUSA, from 2001 to 2003, and Women's Professional Soccer, WPS, starting in 2009, have ramifications for players' career choices, marketing, other women's professional sports enterprises, and the growth of national team programs. This book explores why players postpone their careers, additional education, marriage, and children to live the dream, even when salaries are far below what they would make in other professions. Part 2 looks at the sport internationally, particularly how it struggles to gain a foothold in some countries since it defies perceptions of traditional roles for women. We will focus on the Middle East, Africa, and Latin America. Then we look specifically at perceptions of women athletes, including sexual portrayals, which frequently are excused under the guise of marketing the game. We look at lingering definitions of how women should play the game, which are discriminatory and different from those for men. Part 3 covers different ways in which the national teams and leagues have expanded around the world. We will look at why North American athletes are going abroad to play for clubs and the national teams of their parents and grandparents. Some countries have done a better job than others in leveraging their diaspora for long-term growth at home. We then turn attention to the pressing need of a number of countries to establish national leagues for their top athletes, whether completely amateur, semi-professional, or professional setups.